Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Nectar of Devotion. We are on chapter 2. Here is a general description of devotional service given by Sri Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Previously, it has been stated that devotional service can be divided into three categories, namely devotional service in practice, devotional service in ecstasy, and devotional service in pure love of God. Now, Sri Rupa Goswami proposes to describe devotional service in practice. So we heard earlier that devotional service has three categories: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. Now, Srila Rupa Goswami is going to explain to us what does it entail. What is this devotional service in practice? What is sadhana bhakti? Practice means employing our senses. Practice means employing our senses in some particular type of work. Employing our senses in some particular type of work. Therefore, devotional service in practice means utilizing our different sensory organs in service to Krishna. So what does practice mean? Srila Prabhupada is saying, what does it mean to practice? So if we are practicing running, that means we are using our legs. Leg is one of the senses, the knowledge acquiring senses. So then we are running. A working sense, sorry. A leg is a working sense. So we are using this sense to practice. So we are engaging it. Or for example, it could be singing. So we are engaging our voice. Anything. So practice. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada is saying, what does it mean, devotional service in practice? Means we engage our senses in the service to Krishna. Practice means we are going to use our senses for some particular, in a particular activity. So devotional service means the activity which is to use the senses to please Krishna. Some of the senses are meant for acquiring knowledge, and some are meant for executing the conclusions of our thinking, feeling, and willing. So practice means employing both the mind and the senses in practical devotional service. We read this, no? Okay, sorry. So, sadhana bhakti. So then, madness. Oh, we read quite a bit here, right? King Yudhishthir, and then skip Maharaj Ambrish. And then we read the Raganuga. Okay, so then we read previously that devotional service and practice, sadhana bhakti, is divided into two. There is one is to engage the senses by following the rules and regulations. I'm supposed to do this. I've been told to do it, and that's why I'm going to serve Krishna. Another is there's this natural attraction. So we are going to read the details. The regulative is called Vaidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and spontaneous is called Raganuga Bhakti. Rupa Goswami defines the first part of devotional practice or Vaidhi Bhakti as follows. When there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving service to the Lord, and one is engaged in the service of the Lord simply out of obedience to the order of the spiritual master, or in pursuance of the scriptures, such obligatory service is called Vaidhi Bhakti. So there's no attachment to Krishna. There's no that natural inclination. There's no spontaneous love for Krishna. But yet the devotee does it. Why? This is what the scriptures are telling me to do. This is what the spiritual master is telling me to do. And so that's why I'm going to do it. This is called Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, doing as we are told to do. practicing. Practice, that's what it's called. It's practice, and there's no attachment for Krishna as yet. But yet, a devotee will follow. He will offer the arti, he will cook the bhoga, all he'll do. Why? Oh, because I'm supposed to do it. And this is devotional service. It's called Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. These principles of Vaidhi Bhakti are also described in Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, first chapter, verse 5, where Sukadev Goswami instructs the dying Maharaj Parikshit as to his course of action. Maharaj Parikshit met Sukadev Goswami just a week before his death. And the king was perplexed as to what should be done before he was to pass on. Many other sages also arrived there, but no one could give him the proper direction. Sukadev Goswami, however, gave this direction to him as follows. My dear king, if you want to be fearless in meeting your death next week, for actually everyone is afraid at the point of death, then you must immediately begin the process of hearing and chanting and remembering God. So Maharaj Parikshit, he was cursed to die in 7 days. So he gave up his kingdom, family, everything, sat on the bank of the Ganges. Over there, many sages came. Some told him do this, some told him do that. When Sukadev Goswami came, Parikshit Maharaj inquired from him, what should I do? What is the specific duty of every living entity? And specifically for one who is soon to die, who's about to die. So Sukadev Goswami said, hearing and chanting. Hearing and chanting. Actually, we are all afraid of death because we are so attached to this body and we don't know where we are going in the next life. So there is that fear. Now, how to get rid of that fear? Begin hearing and chanting about Krishna. And remember Krishna. If one can chant and hear Hare Krishna and always remember Lord Krishna, then he is sure to become fearless of death, which may come at any moment. So this is how to become truly fearless. Fearless at the lotus feet of the Lord. Fearless at the lotus feet of the Lord. Abhay Charan. Abhay Charan. Fearless at the lotus feet of the Lord. That is Srila Prabhupada's name. Abhay was his name when he was a child. That was his name that was given to him by his parents. In the statements of Sukadev Goswami, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. Therefore, Sukadev Goswami recommends that one should always hear about Krishna. He does not recommend that one hear and chant about the demigods. See, Sukadev Goswami, very specific. He says, do Krishna Katha. He's not saying you hear about anyone, everyone, and it will all lead to the same. All roads lead to one. Everyone is one. Anything you do is okay. No, he's very specific. Maharaj Parikshit asked him a specific question, and Sukadev Goswami is giving him a very, very clear answer. Hear and chant about Krishna. There's no ambiguity in his answer. The Mayavadi impersonalists say that one may chant any name, either that of Krishna or those of the demigods, and the result will be the same. But actually, this is not a fact. We may think, oh, if I'm chanting the name of a particular demigod, it's the same as chanting Hare Krishna. No, it's not. All the scriptures declare it is not. The demigods are not God. They are all demigods. They are servants of Krishna. It could be Lord Shiva, it could be Lord Brahma, it could be Maya Devi, it could be Durga Devi, it could be Ganesh Ji, so many. There are 33 crore demigods. But chanting their names is not equal to chanting the name of Krishna. It's not the same. It's like if we buy a ticket to go to Australia, we are going to reach to Australia. Not that with an Australian ticket we can reach America. They won't let us board the flight. They check, they won't let us board the flight. Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, who we worship, that's our destination gonna be, Yanti Deva Vrata. That if we worshipping the demigods, we'll go to the planet of the demigods. We worship the Pitra, we are gonna go to the planet of the Pitra. We worship ghosts and spirits, we are gonna take birth among such beings. And if we worship Krishna, we go to Krishna, to be with Krishna in Krishna Lok. According to the authorized version of Srimad Bhagavatam, one has to hear and chant about Lord Vishnu, Krishna only. This, when we are saying hear and chant, hear about Krishna, chant Krishna's names, because that's the way we can get out of this material world, get liberation, get purified, be reinstated in our position as pure souls. By chanting the names of the demigods, we will not get liberation, cannot. The jurisdiction is only within the material world. So Sukadeva Goswami has recommended to Maharaj Parikshit that in order to be fearless of death, one has to chant, one has to hear and chant and remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, by all means. So hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. This is Sukadev Goswami's instruction to Maharaj Parikshit. Now we may say, oh well, Maharaj Parikshit had to do it because he was dying. But then again, Maharaj Parikshit knew at least he's going to be alive for 7 days, He knew death is not going to come to him for the next 7 days. But do we know that? No, we don't know that. We act and behave as if death is never going to come to us. Why? Because the soul is eternal. The soul is immortal. There's never death for the soul. But we are not able to understand that at this point we have to give up this body. Change of body is going to take place. Either our next body can be material or spiritual. That choice is ours. Where do we want to go? What do we want to do? That choice is our choice. He also mentions that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sarvatma. Sarvatma means the super soul of everyone. So, who is the super soul? It's Krishna, not we. We are not the super soul. We are the soul. Yes, we are the individual soul, but we are not the super soul. There is a difference. Krishna is the super soul. We are the soul. Krishna is also mentioned as Ishvara, the supreme controller who is situated in everyone's heart. Therefore, if some way or other we become attached to Krishna, he will make us free from all danger. Some way or other become attached to Krishna. Krishna will give us fearlessness, protect us from all danger, free us from danger. How? Become attached to Krishna. What are we attached to? Who are we attached to? But we need to become attached to Krishna. We say, oh, I want to become detached from this material world. I want to become detached from everything. I'm going to give up everything. I'm going to renounce everything. I'm going to be detached. But for the soul, there is no detachment as such. It just simply means we have to change our attachment from the material to Krishna. We say, oh, I want to be detached. I am completely detached. But then again, we are attached to the idea that I'm detached, And by our thoughts, words, and deeds, if we really analyze, are we really detached then? The idea is to become attached to Krishna. That's it. We just add Krishna. Automatically, the detachment from the material takes place. It's just automatic. We simply have to begin hearing and chanting and remembering. In this way, attached to Krishna, automatically we will get detached from the material world. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that anyone who becomes a devotee of the Lord is never vanquished. Krishna says to Arjuna, you declare it boldly, O Arjuna, that my devotee never perishes. Krishna is telling Arjuna, you declare it. You are a devotee, you're righteous. People will believe what you are saying. So, devotee of Krishna is never vanquished. Krishna protects his devotees. Krishna protects his devotees. Others, however, are always vanquished. Vanquished means that after getting this human form of life, a person does not come out of the entanglement of birth and death and thus misses his golden opportunity. So when he's saying vanquished, does it mean that at death the soul is not going to exist anymore, just evaporate and not exist? No, the soul can never be killed. We are eternal. We are eternally conscious. It's not that, oh, after we die, then we lose our consciousness. Never, never. That is spiritual. That's the meaning of being spiritual. So, what does vanquish mean here? It means that after even getting this human life, then because the person did not take up the process of devotional service, again they will be into this cycle of birth and death, the samsara, taking birth in the different species of life, animals, aquatics, plants, you know. Such a person does not know where he's being thrown by the laws of nature. We may not believe in the law of nature, but it acts. Someone may not believe in law of gravity, but it acts. One does not have to believe in the law for the law to be active, you know. I may say, oh, according to me, this law does not exist, but that is according to me. It does not in any way affect the law. The law is in place. So the law of nature is very much there. Suppose one does not develop Krishna consciousness in this human form of life, he will be thrown into the cycle of birth and death involving 8,400,000 species of life, and his spiritual identity will remain lost. One does not know whether he's going to be a plant or a beast or a bird or something like that, because there are so many species of life. The recommendation of Rupa Goswami for reviving our original Krishna consciousness is that somehow or other we should apply our minds to Krishna very seriously and thus also become fearless of death. Engage your mind in thinking of me, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Srila Rupa Goswami is saying the same thing. Fix the mind on Krishna. Ambarish Maharaj, that's what he did. He fixed his mind on Krishna. We were just hearing about Dhruv Maharaj. What is he doing? He's fixed his mind on Krishna. Fix the mind on Krishna. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. These are the two main principles. And to support these two principles, all the other principles are made. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. And in this way, we can become fearless. Fearless. You know, when a small child, if he's with his father, he has no fear. What does he have to fear about? He does not worry. Say, I know my father is there. He's taking care of me. He doesn't have to worry, oh, I have to go make money. I have to pay my rent. I have to, pay mortgages or worry about whatever, cooking. He knows, no, I just have, I'm being provided for by my mother and my father. They're taking care of me. Similarly, if we get attached to Krishna, automatically we will get fearless because then we know Krishna is taking care of me. After death, we do not know our destination because we are completely under the control of the laws of nature. Only Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is controller over the laws of nature. So we all say, oh, yes, yes, there is law of nature, there is law of nature. But who has made this law? We say, oh, there's a law of Taiwan, there's a law in Hong Kong, there's law in America. But who's making these laws? There's a lawmaker. It's not that the laws just appear out of thin air. Suddenly, oh, this is the law. No, there's someone who's making the law. And that person is the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. He is the one who's making the law of nature. Therefore, if we take shelter of Krishna seriously, there will be no fear of being thrown back into the cycle of so many species of life. Because then Krishna sees the desire in our heart. You see, Krishna is the Paramatma in our heart. He's the most kind, loving Father. Krishna loves us the most. So he sees our desire. He sees the desire. Oh, this soul wants to come to me. This soul wants to get to know me. Then Krishna makes the arrangements for the soul, the person, to engage more and more in devotional service. Then Krishna sees the desire of one, oh, this soul does not want to get to know me. He wants to do nothing with me. And so Krishna makes arrangements so that this soul can forget Krishna more and more. So he will put us in animal bodies. We can't remember Krishna in animal body. Tree body, fish body, bird body. Yeah, so Krishna, he sees our desire. What is our desire? Where do I want to go after I die? What choice am I making? A sincere devotee will surely be transferred to the abode of Krishna as affirmed in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says that my devotees, those who worship me, they come back to me. Krishna may, because the desire of the devotee is there to be with Krishna. So Krishna brings the devotee to him. So what is our desire? Do I want to be with Krishna? Then Krishna will bring us to him. If our desire is not to be with Krishna, then Krishna will not bring us to him. He's very kind. He's just fulfilling our desires. What do I want to do? What is my desire? In the Padma Puran, also the same process is advised. There it is said that one should always remember Lord Vishnu. This is called dhyan or meditation, always remembering Krishna. So Padma Puran is also saying the same thing. Fix your mind on Lord Vishnu. Remember, always remember Lord Vishnu. Dhyan. Dhyan means what? Remembering Lord Vishnu, remembering Lord Krishna. It is said that one has to meditate with his mind fixed upon Vishnu. Padma Puran recommends that one always fix his mind on the form of Vishnu by meditation and not forget him at any moment. So Padma Puran is saying, don't even forget Krishna for a moment, how many moments we engage in doing, I don't know what. I can just speak about myself. Moments will become into minutes, minutes will become into hours, hours will become into days, days will become into years, and years can turn into a lifetime. But Padma Puran is saying that even for a moment, don't forget Krishna. Fix your mind on Krishna. And this state of consciousness is called samadhi or trance. This is samadhi, fixing the mind on Krishna. Krishna says, of all the yogis, one who always thinks of me within himself abides by me. He's the best of all yogis. This is my opinion. So the best of the yogi is one who fixes his mind on Krishna. We should always try to mold the activities of our lives in such a way that we will constantly remember Vishnu or Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. Whether one concentrates his mind on the four-handed form of Vishnu or on the form of two-handed Krishna, it is the same. You know, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna is same. He's the same person. Lord Krishna, when he goes to office, then he's Lord Vishnu. When he's at home, he's two-handed. He's Krishna, Sham Sundar. You know, when we go to office, we become formal. We wear our office clothes. And then when we are at home, we are relaxed. We have loving relationships. We have our parents, our children, our spouse. So the atmosphere is very intimate. It's very loving. In the office, the atmosphere is going to be more like, oh, that's the boss and we are the employees. You know, so of course there is a relationship, yes, but it's not as intimate as the relationship at home. So the person is the same, no? So same, Vishnu and Krishna is the same person. Just think of Krishna, think of Vishnu. Padma Purana is recommended. Somehow or the other, always think of Vishnu without forgetting him under any circumstances. Actually, this is the most basic of all regulative principles. For when there is an order from a superior about doing something, there is simultaneously a prohibition. We go to the doctor says, take your medicine. Then he will also say, but don't do this, don't eat spicy food, don't eat fried food. You know, he'll do that. So when there is an order, then one should always remember Krishna. The prohibition is that one should never forget him. Within this simple order and prohibition, all regulative principles are found complete. So this is the foundation. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. And to help us to do so, the scriptures give us so many rules and regulations. Worship the deity, chant the holy names, hear about Krishna. Why all these things are recommended? So that we can always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Shla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.